Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com here in Kansas City at the Big 12 Conference spring meetings. Now, these spring meetings are crucial to how the Big 12 gets its business done. But what exactly goes on here? Here's what we found out.
Well, I think it's important, first of all, to conduct the business we need to conduct, end of the year review, prepare for NCAA legislative proposals that are coming up in the next year, conclude our business, approve a budget, all of that.
The conference's governance groups include the presidents, the athletic directors, the faculty athletic representatives, and the women's senior administrators. Two of those groups do much of their work behind the scenes.
They're the liaison between athletics and academics. So I interact with the faculty and I bridge issues related to faculty concerns and academic concerns. We look at athlete eligibility. We are involved with three main roles: are student athlete welfare, institutional control and compliance, and oversight over academics. So we try to make sure we operate with sound academic principles and academic integrity.
Senior women administrators are actually it's sort of a unique group in that we each have different roles on our campuses. Most of us have some sport oversight on our campuses. Some of us are over academics. Some of us are CFOs. And so when we come together, the thing that unites us, I think, is that we discuss recommendations that we get from coaches groups, particularly for the Olympic sports and for women's basketball.
The coaches groups hold their spring meetings usually at the conference offices. The football coaches and the basketball coaches met in early May to discuss issues in their sports and on their campuses.
We'll discuss a number of national issues where they are related to recruiting, and it's just some discussion items that the coaches want to share, or even recommendations that come from the coaches meeting that are presented to the athletic directors for consideration. As an example, we're making a tweak to our all Big 12 voting for the coaches' perspective. So that came out of that meeting. Will be reviewed and likely accepted here in a little bit by the athletic directors.
Over the 4 days, the various governance groups meet on their own and then meet with the other groups.
Sort of like how a bill becomes a law.
Right.
So the coaches group will make a recommendation. We discuss that, and as administrators, part of our job is to keep in consideration what the perspectives of the coaches groups are, and try to do our best to use that information as effectively as we can, but we also have to keep in mind the business models, and we have to keep in mind fan interest, and we have to keep in mind other things that all come together to make a sporting experience great, both for student athletes, for the media, for the fans, and also representing institutions well. So we're trying to keep in mind a lot of different perspectives as we discuss these different opportunities or recommendations.
I think it's critical to what we do is to have dialogue and to vet things. The ADs will probably tell you we're very good at vetting and talking about things, but it really to look at all sides of an issue.
With all the meetings and all the issues and all the discussion, there's also time for some personal interaction. A number of staff members from the various schools spent an afternoon at a local Ronald McDonald House, preparing meals and doing cleanup work.
The binding of the conference is important, that we get everybody together at this time. And we're in a unique business. We've got institutions that compete with each other in a lot of different forums, but yet they have to cooperate together as well. And so for that to happen, there has to be this kind of social interaction, I think, as well as the meeting structure interaction.
A year ago at these spring meetings, the Big 12's future was uncertain. This year, the conference is preparing for a new and promising future. The spring meetings provide a chance to prepare for the year ahead.
I think we get a lot of input as a staff from our membership in terms of what went well in the past year, what needs to go, what we need to do to get ready for the future year, and this is just the perfect time to do that.
For Big12Sports.com, I'm Wendell Barnhouse reporting from the spring meetings in Kansas City, Missouri.